Good existence. I'm JD, and I gotta say something to somebody, and I don't have anybody to talk to. So, dear iPhone Internet Diary, JD's Pharmacopoeia, everybody out there who cares to tune in to the JD resonance, I'm here to share what I need to get out of my brain. Look, y'all. I was watching a podcast with Lex Fridman, episode 293. I don't remember the guy's name. Donald Hoffman, something with a D, something with an H. Check out Lex Fridman, dude. Podcast specifically 293 in minutes 1 through 7. It's not even, you don't got to go that far in, but I understand that certain people, certain things don't have as much meaning to other people. And so if you are looking for the meaning, it's like everybody, some people are looking for meaning, like seekers. There are truth seekers who are looking for the meaning of existence, the meaning in everything. There are people who don't really care for seeking truth, and both those people are cool and both is fine. And frankly, I'm just prefacing myself because I'm a truth seeker and I just need to release all the truth, which is my truth, JD Nicholas Jensen Denton's personal perspective of the subjectiveness of ultimate reality, because there's a lot of things we need to take into consideration, and as far as I'm concerned, there are a lot of people on the planet who are trying to do such a thing, aka discover truth. And what that means for us here, I've done this before, but it's like the truth is literally outside of language. And so I'm here, it's outside of language, it's outside of sight, it's outside of hearing, sound, smell, and taste. Somehow I named 6 senses there. It's outside of all your senses. It's especially outside of language. We can't put it into these 26 characters. We're talking about the ultimate truth of the nature of reality and how nothing turns into something. And I'm here with language, 26 characters, 26 finite sounds and scripts of which I'm attempting to define the undefinable, the unintelligible, the beyond logic. And so, God, just bear with me a little bit. But for all the other people that are out there trying to define the undefinable, the unintelligible, God trying to understand the secret, not the secret, but just the origins of things, the truth of who and what we are and where we come from and what happens before you are born and where are you going after you die and what is going on with the nature of life itself. What's going on? A lot of people, nobody. That's a bit of an extreme word. There is an infinitesimal fraction of entities in the world legitimately trying to provide models of ultimate reality. And you do not find these individuals in the education system. You do not find them in the political system. You do not find them in the social system. You find them kind of, honestly, frankly, everywhere but these places. They're probably in your life. You're probably interacting with one. You probably live with one right now. But you don't know it because the implicit, meaning implied, meaning unspoken, meaning what we take for granted as intelligence, what we take as for granted true, is we shouldn't be taking it for granted. It's a falsity. It's an illusion. It's a illogical phenomenon, and we are pretending as if this assumption, right, is fucking true, and it's not. And what is this assumption? This assumption is that physical phenomena interacts with other physical phenomena and is the fundamental causative principle of all action in the universe. Meaning a cog rotates, which turns another gear, which turns a lever, which smacks a drum and makes a beat, or a metronome, or they're like everything that all of our science, from rockets to pianos to electricity, is based on physical phenomena. The interaction between two physical components. And we study the world inherently. Most scientists, most people, most individuals look at the world inherently as an interaction of physical cause and physical effect. But what people don't realize, what science has been proving since the 1200s, the 1300s, I mean, predominantly since Newton and beyond. Isaac Newton, he's the greatest ornament of modern scientific realization that we've ever been able, that has ever existed. And most people still cannot conceptualize or understand what Isaac Newton set out to disprove, what he proved, and how he reconciled all these things together. Because the whole idea of the Enlightenment in the Renaissance era and that whole period was to do away with the notion of occult forces in the universe, meaning invisible, intangible, not measurable forces. And they said that you can reduce the entire universe to its core physical components, like little pieces. They were atomists. They believe everything come from atoms, and that the causative component of all of the phenomena in the perceptible and experiential universe comes from the interaction of atoms. Okay? And what the science says is fucking, for one, atom is biased. Okay? Atoms come from like 1100 BC, like before technology was invented. People think we discovered atoms looking through a microscope. It was an idea in a guy's head who was heavily influenced by theology. You ever wonder why atoms are the one singular universal component which is the base, which they tell us is the base building block of all reality, and why Adam from the church with Eve is the one person who we are all supposedly genetically related to? Or do you think Atum, the godhead of the Egyptian Kemetan hierarchy of gods, do you think that all these names just happen to name them the same way? Or perhaps there's some sort of connection and greater idea that's at play that they're trying to project, whoever these inventors are trying to project into our mind? The problem is that nobody's reading the original inventors of words and theories and concepts, and most of the original meaning of what these guys are putting forth has been completely vacated in modern times. And we can't even talk about it because people don't have a correct conceptualization of what science really fucking is. And it's the study. I mean, it began as the idea to discover ultimate truth. And in the mid 1900s, I was going to say like the late 1930s or early 1940s, in the mid 1900s, the Royal Society, the guys that basically control the whole aims and goals and funding and direction of the scientific inquiry throughout the culture. I mean, I'm not saying that they're all godly and they rule this whole domain, but I'm saying that most of what we're calling legitimate scientific literature comes out of the Royal Society and the journals and Associated Press connected to these guys. And what the Royal Society, they held conventions. What they decided was that science and the scientific method and the study through material, particle-based, atomic-based phenomena, physical interaction, cannot actually lead us to ultimate truth. That Newtonian mechanics, it falls short of describing what actually is the essence of reality, whatever that is. And that's annoying because they don't teach you that in school. That's something you have to read and learn for yourself. They teach you in school. They don't teach you anything in school. They tell you a bunch of schizophrenically organized information which nobody can make heads or tails from. But what is implied through culture and K through 12 and beyond, is that this Newtonian mechanics and using that as the primary tool for this inquiry of science and the scientific method will lead you to ultimate realization, Jiva Mukta, total knowledge over reality, that you can ultimately figure literally you can figure everything out. If you know what all the particles are doing, you can figure out everything that could ever possibly happen in the universe. And this was not it's not a new idea. I'm saying it goes back to Galileo, and then it goes, and every single person that truly put this idea to the test came up short and falsified their own theories. But people have not learned the history of science, and so they don't realize that physical reductionism and materialism has been falsified 50 times over, right? Because we're being brainwashed in school, and they're teaching us lies. We're being given a reduced understanding of the nature of reality so that we're easier to be controlled. And that's the whole reason why I created this pharmacopoeia in the first place, because there's a higher order understanding to all this. And we know in the occult, like, they set out to do away with the notion of the occult forces in the universe, that there are non-physical interactions, what they call action at a distance, what Einstein called spooky. They set out to do away with that. And in doing so, they created a vast understanding of the nature of reality and the nature of how things interact that led to things like electricity, physics, calculus, rocketry, okay? It led to all sorts of innovation, like literally everything that we take and that is luxurious in life, this inherent falsification, proving that actually it's not how things work, is what brought about innovation and the first world as we know it. But people take these innovations as evidence of the proof, they take it as proof, which in proof is for whiskey drinkers. Proof is not for scientists, but people take these rockets, they take this stuff, this innovation, this technology as proof that reductionism will lead to ultimate reality. And further, they take it as proof that theories are real, that they're not theoretic in origin, that they're not actually fundamental. It's just a potential explanation for a very specific phenomena within a grander set of assumptions within a theory that, like, space-time is doomed, okay? Space-time is fucking doomed. I'll show you, I'll explain it all. Hopefully, I'll try it. Here, let's go. Because there's no way I can explain it with words. I'm sitting here trying to tell you it's outside of language. Let me show you exactly how outside of language it is.